In today's tutorial, let's pump up the volume with this new crochet super scarf, but you don't have to make it a super scarf. I'm going to teach you how to make it smaller. Welcome back to the Crochet Crowd as well as Yarnspirations.com. I'm your host Mikey. Today we're going to pump up the volume with this super scarf, and I'm going to teach you how to make it smaller if you wish in order to complete. I love this scarf. This is one of my favorite of the super scarf series. I like the simplicity, I like the ease of it, and the advantage to it to make it smaller is that this one is worked up in the length. So we're just gonna go back and forth, and you can stop exactly when you want to. So you don't have to go the whole width or the whole length of 100 inches because that's massive, and you can make it smaller if you wish, if you want something more manageable. I think you'll love this stitch. It's very similar to the corner to corner, but doing it in rows, and it's got a little bit of cluster work that I think is not a deal breaker. In fact, I think that you'll probably enjoy it too, so don't tell anybody that I told you that. So let's begin. Let's take a closer look at this pattern and let's see what you need, and then we'll begin. So if you're looking at this pattern, you notice that there's row 1 and 2. Where's the rest of the rows? No, I'm telling you, it's that simple. It's really quite easy to follow, and you're gonna need a size 9mm crochet hook today. I don't have that in stock. I have an 8mm, so I am decreasing a bit, and we're gonna need Bernat Softy Chunky and only 6 balls if you want to do exactly what you see. So Bernat Softy Chunky, I love this line. It is chunky yarn. It works up pretty quick, and I think you'll love it. At the same time, there's some great colors just like you see the models wearing. So let's begin, and let's start off with our chain, and I think you'll have a lot of fun. Let's begin. So here's a sample just to make sure that I understood the pattern before I'm teaching it to you, and you're gonna notice that it's like leaning like the corner to corner. So one side it leans in one direction, and when you come back in the other direction it leans to the other side, just like so. But you know what's kind of interesting about it is that it does look like a corner to corner as you're doing it, but ends up being a cluster here at the tops. So it actually becomes a lot of fun, and these spaces like you would do in a corner to corner are there, and that's where you get to play next time. The wonderful thing about it is that there's no fancy footwork of remembering row 1 and 2 for repeating. It's just all the same row once you get started, and I think that's what I like about this one. This is one I can actually mindlessly do while I'm watching television at the same time. So let's begin. So let's begin with the slip knot. In today's pattern it says to chain 30, but if you would like to change the width, for example you love this so much that you want it into an afghan, the multiple counts are 4 plus 2. So if you go 1 2 3 4 1 2 3 4 1 2 3 4 till you get to the width that you want, then you add 2, then you'll be in the multiples in order to make this happen. So in my circumstances I'm just going to do a smaller example, but you can chain 30 if you would like to follow the scarf directly. So just go in multiples of 4 or chain 30. So 1 2 3 and 4, and then 1 2 3 and 4, and then 1 2 3 4, and 1 2 3 and 4. And so you can continue either to do all the way to 30 or do an afghan or a scarf, whatever you want to do with this, and as soon as you're satisfied with the length, add 2. So 1 and 2. So it's multiples of 4 plus 2. Let's begin the pattern. So row number 1 is different from all the rest of the rows. Row number 2 is the repeat for the whole thing, but row number 1 is slightly different. So we want to count 5th chain from the hook. So 1 2 3 4 and 5 all the way back there, and I want you to wrap your yarn first and going into the back loop of the chain, and yarn over, pull through, and pull through 2 and hold that just like that. Okay, so let's do that again. So just wrap the hook going into the same stitch, pull through 2 and hold, and I want you to do it one more time. So wrap that hook going into the same stitch, pull through 2 and hold. Okay, so now you have 4 loops on your hook. You're gonna yarn over it and pull through all 4, and that is your beginning cluster. So after you have that done, you need to chain up 1. So chain 1, go back down to the chain here and skip over 2. So 1 and 2 and go to the 3rd, and I want you to single crochet there. So the first part that you just started with is unique. It's only gonna happen here. So let's begin the rest of the repeat pattern across your chain. So to do the rest of the chain, it's actually really quite simple. You're gonna chain 3, 1 2 and 3, and you're gonna go to the next stitch available to you right down here, and you gotta do a cluster, and it's again 3 like that. So wrap that hook going into the next chain, pull through 2 and hold. Wrap that hook going into the same one, pull through 2 and hold. Wrap that hook again, same stitch, pull through 2 and hold. You have 4 loops back on your hook, yarn over and pull through all 4. So we chain up 1 and then simply come back down to the chain 1 and 2, go to the third one over for a single crochet, and then repeat exactly what you just learned again and again and again until you get close to the end where it's gonna be slightly different. So we'll get to do it again. So chain 3, 1, 2 and 3, wrap the hook going into the next one and do another cluster. So continue to do those and just collect them as you go, and when you get close to the end you're gonna run out of chain, and therefore you have to do something slightly different at the very end. So you get your cluster, chain 1. So I'm actually really close to the end at this point, and I wanna make sure that I'm going to keep this stuff in balance. So I'm going to shift over, so skip 2, go to the third one over for a single crochet, and you only have 2 stitches left if you're keeping the multiples properly. So that's right. So in the very end, just on row number 1, you're gonna chain up 2 and you're going to double crochet right into the very final chain. So skip a 1 and double crochet right into the final. So regardless if you did chaining of 30 when you started or if it's a whole afghan, that's exactly how you're gonna finish, and that's what it would look like at this moment. So let's begin row number 2, which is the same thing for the entire duration of the project. So let's begin row number 2. So row number 2 is gonna be identical no matter what row you're on now. It's always gonna be the same. That's what makes this quite fabulous. So let's begin. We're gonna start off by chaining 4. This counts as a double crochet plus chain 1. So 1, 2, 3, there's your double crochet, and then the 4th is your chain 1, and it matters next time that you're coming back on this. So I want you to look to this chain 2 space that's right underneath, and we're gonna do our first cluster there. So what we're going to do is that we're going to just begin to cluster. So just going right into that space and do your normal cluster, which is just your 3s like that, and then once you have that done, just pull through all 4 loops like that. So now you're gonna chain 1 and you're going to move to this next chain 3 space right here. See how it's lifting off? So you wanna leave these clusters alone and go right for these spaces. That's what makes it easy. And I want you to single crochet in that space just like that, and then I want you to chain 3. So 1, 2, 3. It's what you've already kind of done already in the first one, but this time instead of looking for chains you're just looking for spaces, and I want you to cluster once again. So the clusters are what making it makes it lean over just like that. So once you have a cluster done, chain 1 and then just use your fingers and pull the next chain 3s up. Okay, so it's right directly over top of the other clusters. So single crochet, chain 3, 1, 2, 3, and then coming back into the same space for a cluster. Just like that. And so you have to then get right to the next one. So chain up 1, and so the very final chain 3 space, okay, so the very final you're gonna do a single crochet and then chain 2, 1 and 2, and then 1 single crochet into the same space, or sorry, 1 double crochet into the same space. I apologize for that. So now we have what appears to be identical. So do you see that? So let's move on to row number 3, which is the same as row number 2, but I just want to make sure that you're getting off to the right foot. So let's review row number 2 once again. So row number 2 is identical throughout everything. So we just go back and we chain up 4. So that counts as a double crochet plus chain 1. So 1, 2, 3, there's your double crochet plus your chain 1, which is your 4th. Coming back into this chain 2 space there, I want you to just do your clusters just like that, and pull through all 4 loops and then chain 1. So then just reach over and get your next chain 3 space, single crochet first, then chain 3, 1, 2, 3, and then cluster into the same. You see how you can probably do this in front of a TV without thinking much about it? It becomes easy. So chain up 1, move to the next one here, single crochet, chain up 3, 1, 2, 3, same space for a cluster. So do you remember how to finish a row? Okay, so you get the cluster, chain up 1. So to finish a row, remember it's single crochet, chain 2, and 1 double crochet right into the final, and then you're ready to move up again to another row. So this is how you're gonna do this. This is called the pump up the volume scarf. This is a really neat scarf. It's really quite easy to be able to follow, and I don't think that you'll have any issues with this at all. Until next time, it's Mikey on behalf of the Crochet Crowd as well as Yarnspirations.com. Have a great day and please enjoy your new scarf. We'll see you. Bye bye.